Now, the biggest deal I made ever was $56,000 and I closed in 20 days. You need capital to start any business. This is where you would need to start. What's good, family? My name is Mike the Negotiator, and I'm not going to hold you today. If you're over 25 and you're struggling to get in a new career, you're struggling to make a lot of money, don't know where to start, you're feeling lost, this video is going to be for you because I got a means to an end for you. Very serious about this because it changed my whole life. It changed my whole dynamic of life, how I look at things. And it's not just a career. It's actually how you can start your career, how you can launch your business, how you can launch your recording studio, your tech business, whatever it is. You need capital to start any business. So some of you are out there saying, I'm an entrepreneur, I don't need to work, I don't need a job. That's beautiful. Don't get too ahead of yourself because you do need some income. But when it comes to making capital and making capital fast and having income that's strong enough to support an entrepreneurship lifestyle, this is where you would need to start. Because being an entrepreneur is not easy. A lot of you might get your credit up and say, I'll get a loan from the bank. But guess what? That bank wants their money back every single month on the dot, or the fees accrue, or they start putting more penalties, and then you start getting in debt, you start getting a lot of pressure, and then you can't operate as a business. So when you start a business, I've started and failed plenty of businesses. I'm telling you right now, you need capital because that's the only thing that gives you ease. You don't need a lot of money to start a business, but it helps to know that you have something to bring in a good chunk of change during that time. And when I found that out, it was me trying to feed my own business, I was a barber for a long time and I wanted to get my own spot. But even whether I was getting ready to rent a spot to lease out for my shop or to buy a shop, I needed a lot of money and I needed it pretty fast when I needed to really up my business because once again, I'm in my mid-20s. I have a family, I have a wife, I'm a provider. There's no more just me sitting behind the chair being a barber, and I've always been self-made. Ever since after I was 18 or 19 was the last time I really had a job. So me and you are probably a lot alike. If you're an entrepreneur, got that spirit, or ever thought about having entrepreneurship or a business, telling you to start right here with wholesaling real estate. There's too many benefits to it. One, the benefit of wholesaling is that real estate is the key to wealth. So wholesaling is the key to finding great real estate deals that can be either in your portfolio or you can sell for a lot of money to make in between helping someone else's portfolio, but you're making the big chunk of change in between. So when you wholesale a real estate deal, it goes John over here selling their house for 100,000. Sally over here wants to buy a new property so she can flip it for her business. She's a flipper. She has a whole team. She's ready to get a house, invest the money, pay cash, flip it, and turn it out. Your job in the middle is just to have two people sign the paperwork. You need John to sign that contract for 100,000, and you need Sally to sign off on her end because you're going to sell it for a little bit more for $120,000. You found the deal, you got the contract, you sent in the title to title work. So you did your part. You're solving his problem and you're solving Sally's problem, and you get paid for it in a big way. And then when I gave that example right now where you make 20 or 30,000, I'm not exaggerating. My first wholesale real estate deal, I made $4,000 with just a couple of texts and a couple of emails, and I closed the deal in about 2.5 weeks. It was the most smoothest deal ever. Now, the biggest deal I made ever was $56,000 and I closed in 20 days. I have a video for that as well. I'm not lying, I give you the dates and the paperwork. It was a fire damage deal, got the contract, sold it to an end buyer, took 20 days. What would you do with $56,000 instantly in your bank account? I know a lot of your salaries right now is not making $56,000 a year. That's way below the median. The median for America is somewhere around $27,000 to $35,000. You cannot survive in an inflated economy like ours. Tech is going crazy, laying off a bunch of jobs. You have to start picking up the pieces yourself. And this is what wholesaling does. This is going to be your little egg that's going to just feed everything. It's so beautiful to know that you can ride around neighborhoods, go on the computer and search Google Earth and find properties in your neighborhood that look boarded up, look abandoned, look fire damaged. Contact the owner The owner might be willing to sell because the property looks distressed and they don't know what to do with it. And then you're able to get that contract and say, hey, I'm the negotiator. I'm Mike. I buy properties all the time. I would like to make you an offer on your house. Take it off your hands within a couple weeks. How does that sound? They accept your offer. You get the contract. And then you go ahead and you tell these investors with tons and tons of money that they have privately or from a bank. And they say, Mike, you got a deal in this area? How much do you want for it? I have a house over here for $120,000. Would you like it? Yeah, Mike, I'm looking for a deal. I've been looking for deals all day long, all year long for a property just like this. Send the contract over. I'll close in 5 to 7 days. And that's literally how wholesaling goes. The hardest part really is just starting. It's learning the numbers. It's learning your strong points. But once you figure out, if you're already in customer service or you're already in business or sales, you know how to negotiate, you know how to get contracts, you're way ahead of a lot of people. But if you're just like in customer service and you're a server, you still have the skills because you know how to talk to people. This whole game is talking to people. That's it. You talk to people, and once they like your personality, you're able to negotiate a price. They trust you and they sign a contract. When they do that, you let your buyers know, hey, I have a property for you. The buyers, let me tell you one thing about money in real estate. There's way more money than there are opportunities. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but there's trillions and billions of dollars in the world. You see the millionaires with lots of money, right? They have it, but they don't like to keep it in their bank account. They want to spend it on real estate as much as possible. Ask any wealthy person, if you ever come across a wealthy person and they don't have a real estate portfolio, something's wrong with them because they all want it because no one likes money sitting in the bank. They don't get a return on their money when it's sitting in the bank. They put it into real estate because it appreciates and they can flip the property or rent it out. So use wholesale just like a vehicle. Use it as a tool. If I don't care what industry you're in, if you got your own tech, if you want to start your own tech company and it's going to cost $100,000, and you're like, how am I going to do this? Oh, I got to save up in a corporate job, make sure my credit's straight for 5 years, and maybe I'll have $100,000 to do it. 5 years, your tech companies, some of them already thought of that idea, and it's over. You're ready to start right now because you're an entrepreneur. Wholesaling could do that for you. If you make 5 to 10 contracts in a year, you're easily going to have 100,000, if not more. I just told you I closed a deal for $56,000, right? If you had 2 deals like that in 1 year, in 6 months, in 3 months, I know people who make 100,000 to 200,000 a month wholesaling real estate. I know them personally. What's stopping you from getting into something like that? Don't look at it like, oh, this is real estate. I'm no real estate guy. I don't care about it. I don't want to do real estate. No, 90% of real estate is really marketing and contracts. That's really all it is. That's all a real estate agent does. But you are going to be from the grassroots. You find your own leads. You get your own contracts. You get them to sign and you close the deal and you take the money. You do whatever you want with it. It's the most beautiful thing ever. I love wholesaling real estate. I'm going to preach it to the top of the mountains until I can. This is my wholesale Facebook group. I'd love for you to join because we're going to be putting more and more facts in there. Ways to get started. We're going to have a bunch of tools for you in there. But it's going to be a community where you come in there, talk to people, get things done, and close some deals, and have all the capital you need to. Mike the Negotiator.